In San Francisco, in the entrance to the headquarters of the Grand Lodge of California, soars a 38-foot-tall Mosaic mural. Close up, the pieces of colored glass, rocks, and soil are dazzling artwork unto themselves. But stand back a distance, and a larger artwork emerges. As it lives and breathes, California Masonry is itself a mosaic, home to a vibrant array of cultures. Like the mural, it is one complex, nuanced portrait that encompasses many others, diverse yet united. California's location, primed for arrival by land and by sea, has always beckoned to far-off cultures. By the 16th century, European explorers had touched upon its shores. By the end of the 17th century, Spanish colonies and even the occasional Russian and British settlements populated its southern and central coast. In 1821, Mexico began its rule of California, but America was fast on its heels. Galvanized by manifest destiny, pioneers began streaming west along the California Trail. In 1846, American settlers seized a small Mexican garrison, declaring California a republic. The Bear Flag Revolt, as it came to be known, tipped off a series of conquests that concluded with California's statehood. By then, the 31st state in the Union was already home to cultures from all compass directions. And then, James Marshall struck gold at Sutter's Mill, near Sacramento.
So when we talk about Masons coming into California, we're really looking at the period of 1849 with the discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill and onwards. However, there were Masons amongst the populations of the Americans that were coming into California. In fact, California was already attracting a diverse crowd of people. Already you had obviously the Native American tribes that were still in the areas. You also had the Californios who were of Spanish descent and by the 1840s were effectively Mexican citizens, although California was semi-autonomous. You also had French and Russians in the area. But Masons really start organizing in about 1847, 1848, primarily in San Francisco and also Sacramento.
In 1850, the Grand Lodge of California was established in Sacramento. In 1855, the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of California was founded, expanding Freemasonry's African American membership in the state. During the Civil War years that followed, it was a prominent Mason, the orator and abolitionist Thomas Starr King, who kept California aligned with the Union. And as the two Masonic Grand Lodges grew and established themselves, their identities were inextricably linked to the cultures and traditions of their members. San Francisco in those days was an ad hoc tent city, ringing with the sounds, sights, and flavors of foreign cultures. It was here, in 1851, that the new Grand Lodge of California chartered its first foreign language lodge, La Parfaite Union. The same building that housed it was soon the home of two more foreign language lodges, one German, one Italian. In Southern California, German-speaking and French-speaking lodges were soon established. A Swedish heritage lodge formed in San Francisco, carving out a home away from home for brothers of Scandinavian culture. These lodges exhibited a powerful combination of patriotism with cultural pride. The Swedish lodge, Balder Lodge No. 393, famously closed each session with a chorus of America. An early member of the French-speaking lodge, La Parfaite Union, described his experience thus:
"It is a lodge of fine and loyal Americans, but also it is a lodge in which the members take pride in and gain strength from the best traditions of France. A man easily can love two countries, the one from which he came and the one he has adopted as his own."
As the United States moved further west into the Pacific, Masonry spread as well, first to Hawaii and later to the Philippines, with charters granted by the Grand Lodge of California. In the decades since, the Golden State has grown ever more diverse, and the fraternity with it. California today is a symphony of contrasts, famous for its technological innovation as well as its fertile farmland, for Hollywood glamour and hard-working ports, and it is as culturally and racially diverse as any state in the nation. California's lodges have reflected this diversity over the years, including at times the failure of individuals to accept and embrace it. But largely, the fraternity's history is framed by tolerance and fellowship. Up and down California's coasts, in its valleys and mountains, Masonry has many faces, but they are all symbols of one fraternity.
The California Grand Lodge and Prince Hall Grand Lodge relationship is built on fraternity, equality, and liberty. And as we are working together, these aspects have become more to the front. We have the ability now, or liberty now, to recognize one another.
Within the Grand Lodge of California, foreign language and affinity lodges retain an important place. The fraternity today still boasts its two original French-speaking lodges, as well as an Armenian Heritage Lodge and two Mexican Heritage Lodges.
If we could select a main selling point in our lodge, the Spanish language will be it. The language itself being one of the romantic languages, when executed properly in ritual, adds a touch of class, elegance, and intrigue. More importantly, however, the Spanish language is the center point which makes many of our members feel at home. It, being the primary language of at least 98% of our active membership, it allows members to freely express themselves and be understood in their native tongue. It removes the insecurities that many Hispanic immigrants have relative to the language barrier, and allows fostering that nostalgia of being home.
The inclusion of culturally diverse lodges teaches us to accept, be more open-minded and understanding towards all mankind. In 2004, our lodge was given a great opportunity to confer degrees in the Armenian language. Most Armenians being bilingual or in some cases multilingual, it allowed us to bring a whole new characteristic to a Masonic lodge.
So the French language is one of the most powerful bonds you can find between the brethren of La Parfaite Union. But what is more important here is like we are all coming from different regions in France or from different countries, and that language is what really unified us as a lodge. And as you know, in every country, sometimes you tease each other because of your regional origin or because of the way you speak, if you have an accent or whatsoever. Inside the lodge, when everyone sit down and we are actually having a formal meeting, that accent disappears. And when you know a bit the social fabric of France, where actually the social status is very important, when you are inside the lodge, all these differences based on the languages, based on the social status, completely disappear. And that is one of the most powerful things you can have. And that also helps outside of the lodge. When you are very homesick and you need to find someone you can talk to that will not judge you or be having some preconception of, for example, your social status or your origin, that is something that is very important, that build and reinforce the bond that we have among the brethren.
Masonry is a conglomeration of different races, and therefore it is important that its members should understand the cultural identity of its members. So Filipinos traditionally hold different kinds of celebration for them to be able to expose their identity and their activities as a Filipino group.
Sarasa Lodge is my father's mother lodge, and over the years we have established a very close relationship. And as I was growing up in Germany, For me, Masonry was always very present through my father, and his lodge brothers were always my uncles. But now when I go back to Germany, I'm not just visiting my family, I'm visiting a lodge there, and I experience Masonry, whereas before I was a child and I experienced it, but now I go back and I experience it as an adult. And that is really something where I connect with these people in a very different way, and I experience also the different facets of Masonry.
I am honored to be California's second Chinese American Grand Master, the first being Most Worshipful Leo B. Mark in 1987, 1988. And throughout my year, I got a chance to see what a diverse jurisdiction this is. I was able to attend lodges from northernmost California, Crescent City, to southernmost remote California, Boron, and meet brothers from many ethnic groups and all age groups. In fact, I was lucky enough to be able to present 11 75-year Diamond Jubilee pins. So you had to be a minimum of 96 years old. Every place I visited, it was a different experience. It might have been the size of the membership, the history of the city or lodge, or the composition of the members. I was able to see and learn about Armenian, Iranian, Mexican, and Prince Hall Masonry. Diversity is one of the core values of Freemasonry. Men who are Masons are all equal in the fraternity, no matter their race, religion, age, economic status, sexual orientation, political affiliation, or physical ability. When we come together in a safe environment, we learn from and about each other's differences. It teaches us tolerance and to be open-minded. We meet on the level.
California Masonry's diversity is one of its most remarkable characteristics. It connects those who might otherwise have remained strangers, reaffirming Freemasonry's philosophical roots, and making it an example for the global community. The end result is a fine balancing act, appreciating that which differentiates us, celebrating that which binds us together. Such aspirations are at the heart of Freemasonry and a key to its future. They are the glue behind California's Masonic Mosaic.